Joshua Tree is where the Mojave and Colorado deserts meet. This area is a unique landscape of quirky Joshua trees or giant yuccas, diverse desert life, massive boulder formations, stunning dark skies for stargazing, and an environment that attracts climbers, hikers, and nature lovers seeking otherworldly beauty and quiet. The tree-like plants you see in Joshua Tree National Park are native to the arid southwestern United States and northwestern Mexico. It is confined mostly to the Mojave Desert between 400 and 1800 meters in elevation. Joshua trees aren't actually trees, they're succulents, a type of plant that stores water. In their dry ecosystems, however, they are considered trees of the desert. Some of these plants in the wild are 500 years old. They grow incredibly slowly, usually only half to 3 inches per year. So a 10-year-old plant might only be a few feet tall. The plant's survival depends on a special symbiotic relationship with the yucca moth. There's human history in Joshua Tree dating back to 10,000 years. It is the traditional homeland of the Yahaviatem, or the Serrano people, and the Nawasogobia, or the Western Shoshone. These indigenous peoples historically used the area's resources, including the Joshua Tree, for weaving, and lived in harmony with the harsh Mojave Desert environment before European settlement. The Pinto culture were the first known inhabitants of Joshua Tree and lived in the area as early as 4000 BCE. They were hunter-gatherers and used the Joshua Tree fruit as a source and used the fibers of the tree to make baskets, sandals, and other items. The Serrano, Coya, and Chemehueve tribes also gathered the fruit of the Joshua trees, hunted the area's wildlife, and used the plants for medicinal purposes. They also left behind rock art that can still be seen in the park today. The tribes have a spiritual connection to the land, and many areas within the park are considered sacred. They have ceremonies, rituals, and traditional practices that are still practiced today. Some of these traditional practices include gathering certain plants for medicinal or spiritual purposes, or visiting certain areas for ceremonial or spiritual activities. They were able to live in harmony with the land and resources, and have passed down their traditional knowledge and practices through generations. All the names on the trails and the metal objects left behind actually come from the colonizers, cowboys, miners, and homesteaders that took the land for profit. In the 1960s, Joshua Tree began to attract a new kind of visitor: rock climbers. The park's unique rock formations and granite monoliths provided the perfect setting for climbing, and the area quickly became a popular destination for rock climbers from all over the world. Today, Joshua Tree is considered one of the premier climbing destinations in the United States, with thousands of routes to choose from. Joshua Tree has also had a significant impact on pop culture. Joshua Tree was associated with the counterculture and the hippie movement, with many musicians, artists, and writers being drawn to the park's unique landscapes and sense of isolation. It became a popular destination for creative inspiration and experimentation. The park's landscape has been featured in numerous films, television shows, music videos, and the park actually continues to be a popular location for commercial photo and fashion shoots. I actually come here to do a lot of my hiking, and I love camping overnight to watch all of the stars. You get a really clear view, and it's just gorgeous. So I actually did this hike. I've done every single hike in this park a bunch of times, but it was a lot harder because the trails weren't clearly marked. And now that this park has become so much more popular, the trails have been updated really well. So I finally, in a reasonable time, in a reasonable manner, got to the mine, and it's a beautiful day. Even though that it's like cloudy, kind of overcast, like it's perfect because it's not direct sun, and that's what gets people in this park. A lot of people do die in national parks, this one too, and this one it's because of the heat, not necessarily like, wildlife or anything like that, although it's out there, and that's the reason why you need to like slow it down when you're driving, so keep that in mind. So I'm on the Contact Mine Trail, and you can see that I made it to the Contact Mine. No, it's great during the winter time. Just be wary that when it rains, it floods, and that means flash floods. So you just want to be mindful of where you're at what time. If you hear thunder, see lightning, I would start heading to the car. But yeah, I'm having a good time staying here in the park this time, so I get to do more hiking, so I'll show you some of that. I drove from the Central Valley to Joshua Tree through the Mojave Desert. I passed through the fog that rested over the Tehachapi Mountains, past the cows and the pastures with the farmlands similar to the ones I grew up around, and into the mountains of the high desert. I stopped for gas, the restroom at the visitor center, and filled up on water. I purchased food, drinks, and treats from local vendors and then drove to a popular campground in the middle of the park. I woke up, made it to the Ryan Mountain trailhead, and climbed to the peak and back before exploring the path and then relaxing at camp. I left the following morning on the third day and after the second night in Joshua Tree National Park and continued my exploration throughout the rest of the park by car. I love driving and I love hiking, and Joshua Tree is the best park to do just that. It has been my favorite park only on the off season to avoid the crowds. I wanted to take this time to enjoy the park without teaching and taking care of a group of kids. I have been taking a break from my multiple jobs ever since my grandma died. Showing kids from all around Los Angeles the park by car was amazing. I loved seeing them enjoy the park and the beauty that I see in the desert. However, years of quick bathroom stops for kids waiting until the last minute to use the bathroom because they're having so much fun is exhausting. And as a teacher in the middle of the wilderness with a bunch of kids, you don't ever feel completely relaxed. You can't fully enjoy the park for yourself. I took the time to go back to a very familiar place that I would call my home away from home. Years of memories, friendships made, relationships lost, sunshine, freezing wind, and flood water. Not to mention the runny nose and cough you get from forgetting your bandana or buff to block out the desert dust. I left the park and returned to my usual haunts, determined to rejoin or restart my life in the new year. Okay, so yesterday I woke up. I stayed the night at Ryan Campground, and so I didn't catch the sunrise, but I ended up hiking to the top of Ryan Mountain, and that was really cool. It went by really quickly. Like, yes, it's a lot of elevation really quick, but yeah, it took me way less than 2 hours. And so I had the rest of the day to explore most of the park. I ended up going to Contact Mine, and I actually saw the mine out that way. It's like kind of gated over so you can't like slip into the mines. But I did that, and then I was like, oh wow, there's another mine. And I didn't get all the way to that mine. I stopped about like a mile away because like the sun was setting and I didn't want to be way far away on a backcountry trail by myself. Well, I just didn't have my gear with me, and like I didn't want to be out there at night. I didn't plan for night hiking, so I wanted to hightail it back to the campground. Stayed there last night. This is the third day that I'm in the park. The first day I was kind of just driving down Park Boulevard. I mostly spent the day in Joshua Tree the first day, like the city or the town or whatever, and that was nice. Like went to like local vendors and shops and stuff like that, and then kind of just like bought a bunch of food, and that was my camp food over this time. So yeah, and then yeah, I just ended up hiking all day yesterday, and then today I'm slowly making my way out.
just mostly taking video and just, really enjoying the scenery. It's beautiful out here. It was kind of like sunny the first day, and then the second day it was like foggy, and like you couldn't really see a lot of details in the sky or anything. Now the clouds are kind of like, breaking, and so you get to see, a little bit of, more of the beauty of the desert. Like, it's been beautiful this entire time. I really enjoyed the cooler weather, especially if I had to have cooler weather. I'm glad that it was yesterday, because I was like hiking, and my little tracker told me that I ended up doing over 8 miles, but my other like trackers on my phone, it like cut out because like I wasn't paying attention and just was filming, and it was just like really paying attention to the hike and really enjoying myself. So yeah, there's always like, really easy, maybe wheelchair accessible hikes. Some of them are like harder, but they're just more accessible. Then there, like climbing routes, there's off-roading, there's something for everybody, like at every national park. If you like kayaking, there's kayaking, up in the Pacific Northwest, and like you can get something out of the park. And I'm really glad to see that there's so many people out here, although yes, it is a lot. I purposely try to stick to times where it's not super crowded, like in the middle of the week, but you could see there's still people out here early in the morning driving through the park. So it's just a really popular park. Yeah, this is one of my favorite parks. I used to hate that because it was so popular, but that just means I have really good taste. So anywho, yeah, this is Joshua Tree. Had a great time, and I gotta go back to the real world now. So thanks for watching. Bye.